It is Thursday, August 25th, about 6:45 in the morning, and I'm out here just to let the koi know that their summer vacation is going to be cut short this year. I'm definitely having a leak issue, and I'm convinced that it is in the pond based on the amount of water that I've lost overnight. I do have the water running now on the slightly defective top-up valve I mentioned in my last video. It's to top the pond up, but the pond has dropped easily 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches overnight, and that's definitely not a good sign. If it's going to continue at that rate, I'm going to have issues for sure. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'll keep the fish out here for a few more days, just keep topping things up while I get things ready in the indoor pond to move them back inside, and then I will start moving them back in. And while the weather is reasonable out here, I will let the water in the pond get down to wherever the leak is, and I'm guessing again it could be the water returns from the filters where I had the issues earlier this spring. And once the water again seeks its level, I'll get into the pond to do the investigation, and we'll do the repairs at that time, get things ready for next season. And while the water is down, I'll be able to get into the filter pit and get working on the changes to the filtration that I had mentioned previously as well, or at least that's kind of the plan at the moment. You can see though the fish are out here this morning. It's nice and cool. It's about 17 degrees at the moment. It's supposed to warm up to the mid-20s later today, but they are looking for their breakfast, so they're going to be very disappointed when they get back indoors, but at least I know they're going to be safe. So I'm going to leave it at that point because the battery is about to give out on the camera here. And just an update, as I will bring some more news along as I'm working to resolve the issue once again. And when I move the fish inside, I'll certainly let everybody get some shots of that also. So take care, have yourself a great day, and I will be back with more news on my ongoing pond saga here a little bit later on. Take care all, until the next portion of the video comes along. It is Monday, August the 29th at about 7:45 in the morning, and as you can see, the fish are doing very, very well. They had their morning feed a few minutes ago. It is a lovely day at the moment. Temperature 20 degrees, feeling like 22. A bit of cloud up there in the sky. They are calling for a possibility of thunder showers later today, but with a temperature of around 29 degrees, and the humidity is going to push it into the feeling like 38, 39 degrees. So it's going to be a very hot and humid day. And what I thought I would do is just bring you a quick update this morning. And I definitely have a leak, I believe, in the pond once again. I'm not seeing any issues in the filter system at all. I did find one minor little spot, which is what's causing the dampness in the filter pit, but is barely a drop every few minutes at most coming out of there. So definitely not allowing for the water loss that I'm getting here in the pond. Right now, the water is disappearing at the rate of about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches every 24 hours. So I've topped the pond up to the maximum or the normal operating level, and within 24 hours I've lost that 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water. So needless to say, that is not good. I really don't want to be shutting things down to investigate the leak, which is what I think I'm going to have to do. So what I'm going to start doing is making some preparations on the indoor pond today, so that I can once again segregate the sturgeon into their area, so that the koi won't devour all the food when they go back inside. And then in the next week or so, I will probably start moving the koi back indoors. I really don't want to do that because it is still, for us, we have a short enough season in Canada as it is, and I really don't want to deprive them of a couple more months out here, September, October generally. But I just cannot continue to keep filling the pond up every week. Well, not every week, every day actually. And that is my issue right now. So as I said, the fish are doing great. They're looking great. They had their silkworm pupa treat yesterday. As I said, they had their morning feed just about half an hour ago. So they are just loving it here. But with the water level down, and you may or may not be able to hear it, but once the level drops to a certain point, the pumps automatically kick off, and then within another minute or so or less, they come back on as the water in the pump chamber elevates a little bit. When the pump is at the normal operating level, where it should be, the pumps continue to run the way they're supposed to all the time. And I'm not sure. I'm going to bring you over here just to the side, maybe get a bit better look to where the water should be. So bear with me as I kind of sit down beside the pond here without touching my electric fence. Zoom in a little. You can see the water level there right at the bottom of that first course of brick. That is actually where the liner goes under those bricks and then comes up, wraps around behind them to sort of hide the liner when the pond is operating. On the brick you can see the damp area, or sort of little watermark if you will, about an inch or so above where the current water line is. That's where the water should be under normal pond operating levels. And as I said, it was at that level yesterday. I filled it up in the evening, and it is now, like I say, actually in a bit less than 24 hours, probably 16 hours or so, it has dropped back down again. So it's definitely losing water at a reasonably quick rate. It's not a risk to the fish at this point, and as I said, I'm going to be looking to get them moved back indoors reasonably soon. And my purpose in doing that is to allow the filters and everything out here to be completely shut down. Just let the water drain to wherever it's going to drain, and then I will get in and make the repairs. And I think just based on the issues I had earlier in the season with the leaks at the 2 water returns in the pond, that could be where the problem is. So what I'm going to do this time, I'll be a little more patient, and we'll let the water seek its own level, and shut the filter system down, as I said, just to ensure that there's no kind of leakage or anything going through there. And we'll just let things run as they may. Once the water gets to its level and stops, then I will know where the leak is, or hopefully where the leak is, and get that resolved, and then get the pond refilled for the winter. And that is my sort of decided plan of action at the moment. I did contact the company via email that provides the float valve system here, the one I mentioned previously where I lost the little piston in it. I still have not been able to find that yet, but I contacted the company and asked them if they are able, they're in the United States, I asked if they're able to ship their product into Canada, and I'm just waiting for a response from them. So I will get hopefully a positive answer, be able to get the pieces that I need to get the float valve functional again, although that will probably be very limited usage, more just to keep the pond topped up, pending moving the koi indoors. But as I said, I'm going to be starting that very, very soon. Going to get working on the indoor tank today. I will do a little bit of videoing down there just to let everybody know what I'm doing. And that's pretty much it for this morning. So the filters are working well. The upflow filters are doing an absolutely amazing job at catching debris. The Easy Pods are working well. I do have plans in mind, as I had mentioned previously, about changing some of the filtration setup with respect to the plumbing aspect of it to get better filtration through the Easy Pods. And I've started to source out some of the additional components I'm going to need to get that done. So once I discover and repair the leak in the pond, I will continue to work on the plumbing aspect, so everything will be ready for next spring. So with that in mind, I'm going to go in and grab myself a cup of coffee, watch a couple of KoiTube or YouTube channels, and then get working indoors. So I will be back and provide an update before too much longer. Back with you shortly. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 30th of August, just after 7 in the morning. As you can see, the fish are doing very, very well. They are enjoying their first feed of the day. I've just come back in from taking the dog for a walk. It's an overcast day today. A bit of blue cloud up there. They are calling for showers later in the day. Right now it's about 22 degrees, which is very comfortable compared to yesterday when we got up into the upper 30s with the Humidex. I just wanted to bring everybody up to date on what's going on with the pond. And I have installed just a temporary replacement for my refill valve here for the pond, the auto top-up system. And I did speak to a supplier yesterday, and replacement parts for the other one are on the way, so I should have that functional hopefully by the end of the week. The big issue that I'm having, however, is that the pond with the valve off is continuing to lose water, and it is losing about an inch and a half every 24 hours, or even a little less time than that. So what I have opted to do, much to my displeasure, is start moving the fish back to the indoor pond so that I can get this one hopefully resolved in the next few weeks once the fish are all safely back inside. Determine where the leak is, get it sorted out, and then start refilling so it'll stay full for the winter, and that'll give me a good indication as to whether I can expect issues for next spring. So I'm not looking forward to moving them because they're doing such, or having such a wonderful time, I should say, out here. Doing really, really well. But I do have the indoor pond prepared for their eventual move in. I will add another segment to the video a little bit later on today, showing how I have once again cordoned off part of the pond for the sturgeon to keep them in their area so that these guys will not eat all the food. And I did that yesterday, so that's ready to go. And then I will be moving these guys, as I said, guys and girls, back to the indoor pond so I can work on this one without any issues of making it too difficult to catch when the water gets too low if it continues to drop, and any issues with the filters, etc. Because you may notice as I'm doing a little segment of the video here, the upflows keep turning on and off, and the reason for that is the water level in the filter chambers are refilling and dropping and refilling and dropping because the pond level is below where it should be, and that's causing the float switch to activate, thereby turning the water on and off. So I'm going to make a mild adjustment to that to help minimize the on-off that the fish are doing, and I will top the pond up again later on. but I need to find a permanent solution to wherever the leak might be and get that resolved so it's good for next season. So with that in mind, I'm going to put the camera down now. I will adjust the valves in the filter pit just to make things slow the water flow slightly, so that that'll minimize again the on and off cycle on the filters. And then, as I said, a little bit later on, I will add a segment to the video showing what I've done down in the indoor tank as far as the sturgeon are concerned. So I will put things down now and be back with you before too long. Continuing on from my earlier comments in the video, this is where the koi will be going in the next couple of weeks as I bring them in so I can get the work done on the pond outside, and they will spend their winter down here. This holds approximately 2,000 gallons. That's US gallons, and I know they do well in here. And on this side of the divider that you can see there, that is where the sturgeon hang out. And the reason they are separated is that the koi love the sturgeon food, and the sturgeon gets sinking food and the koi will eat that up before the sturgeon can get to it. You can just kind of see one of them cruising around there. That's my short-nosed sturgeon. This area is approximately 4 feet by 8 feet, and it is fenced off or partitioned off with a net, so there's ample water circulation through here, and sturgeon has lots of room, although they did have the entire tank to swim around in up until yesterday. So this one and the sterlet, which is in here somewhere, they definitely do well in here. Again, I know they would like more space. If the koi were not so anxious to get the sturgeon food, then everybody could share the entire space together, which would be great. But the koi are voracious eaters, as any of you who keep koi know. And so that's why I have to keep them separated, and that's why I don't put the sturgeon out the pond in the summertime, because again, the koi would just take all the food. And I tried that about 3 years ago, and the sturgeon actually lost weight when they were out there until I brought them back in the house. So you can just see again, this one is just kind of cruising around. I don't know if you see the sterlet there. She might come back around again in a moment. So they're doing very well down here. It is extremely quiet, as you can hear, or not hear at the moment. I've turned off both the air and the water just to make it a bit easier to communicate with you. So I will be bringing the koi in, as I said, starting probably next week, and we'll little by little bring them in. I generally do a couple at a time just to allow the filters to kind of catch up, and I may make some modifications to the filters just to accommodate the koi as they've gotten larger. But they do very well down here, and at least I know they're safe for the winter months. So I'm going to plug the pump back in just to give you an idea of what the water circulation is like here. It's a submersible pump, just at the bottom of that pipe there, and it feeds the filters up here. And again, that's the one starting now, the other one will be filling up. And there it goes. So you can understand it is a bit noisy down here when this is running. Although it's funny, when I'm upstairs, I really don't hear this. It's more if I don't hear it, then I know potentially there's a problem down here. So the fish, like I say, they will be coming in soon, and I will provide video of that when I bring them in so you can get a bit better look. So I'm just going to put the camera down for a moment, and I will wrap up the video shortly. Just another quick look at the pond to end the video. It has started to rain, and again, that's supposed to be an on and off thing pretty much all day. Once again, the koi are up looking for food, which they will get later on. They'll get their treat. I have topped the water up to get the filters and everything running properly. I've also done a cleaning on the upflow and the easy pods, so that's been done for the day. So I'm going to head back in the house so I don't get too wet in the rain. And as always, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button, as your support is very much appreciated. And thank you for following along, and I will bring some updates to you as I get trying to figure out where the leak has developed and what I can do to get it fixed, hopefully permanently this time around. So thank you all very much, take care, and happy ponding.